Why can't you just get over it? It happened a long time ago and you're now free. So, why is it still affecting your life so much now? Complex trauma affects the way you perceive yourself and the world. If it happened in childhood, then this is when you're forming your beliefs about yourself and how the world works. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he tells us that our first need is to be safe. And this makes perfect sense. This includes meeting your basic needs of thirst, hunger, and comfort, and sleep. It also includes a feeling of being safe, which is just as important. So while we may appear to have all our safety needs met, if we don't actually feel safe, then our body reacts as if we're not safe. If our safety is threatened, we remain feeling unsafe. Or if our safety needs were not met consistently, particularly when we were young, then it can become very hard to progress any further in life. We can only really focus on one or two things at a time. Other things may be happening around us, but there's just so many things happening at any one time. And so we just become unaware of it. It's like we block them out. We can deliberately draw our attention to things by choosing to, or our subconscious will actually prioritize this for us, as it does when you need to feel safe. And your subconscious will usually choose safety first. When this need is met, we can then focus on other things and meet other needs. Draw your attention to the sounds around you inside, the things that you can hear if there's anything going on where you are. Now draw your attention to the sounds that are outside. Now look for the colour white and focus on all the different shades of white that you can see around you. Take your time. Now look and see dirt and things that are not quite perfect. Scratches, little bits of chips in things. Notice that you may not have noticed these things 5 minutes ago, or in the last week, or maybe not ever. They were still there. Can you see more? Is this drawing your attention to more and more imperfections? Are you forming judgments now? And where are your thoughts wandering off to? Are you still aware of the sounds inside and outside? Probably not, as they're not important because you've changed what you were focusing on. Now, just to know this as an example, imagine that as a child you grew up in an unsafe environment with certain adults. You were led to believe that their actions were your fault. And it became very important for you to be aware of these adults' moods and their activities. You had to monitor for signs of one of them going to explode with anger and hurt you or someone close to you. Remember, this is just an example. Abuse can also be emotional abuse. So, as this child, you need to focus on these things so you can avoid getting in their way, so you can avoid getting hurt and keep yourself safe. You may have become tuned into the sound of their car pulling up at night, or maybe footsteps approaching your room in absolute terror, or the smell of alcohol, the sound of slurred speech, or raised voices. You may have learnt to be on guard to survive. This is where your focus needed to be. Our first instinct is to avoid danger if it's around us. You want to get away, to distance yourself from it. But if you can't do this, you may try to fight your way out of it, get angry. But if this makes it even more dangerous, then you will try and talk your way out of it, or people please, and do whatever it takes to lessen the damage that you know is going to happen anyway. So maybe just have something happen to you, but not actually get killed. And if this fails, you will freeze and go out of your body to protect your mind. And what I mean by that is it's like you just become totally unaware of what's happening to you bodily, and your mind goes off to some other place. All of this is subconscious, and the choices happen in seconds and become repeated habits that protect you. It's very hard to unlearn this repeated pattern of behavior. And the other adjustments and patterns that you developed over time to try and keep yourself safe. These patterns are subconscious, they're not a choice. They just automatically happen with the slightest similar trigger to keep you safe. Now, fast forward to be an adult, and hopefully, you're no longer in a dangerous situation. But imagine being in a similar situation around other people and feeling slightly uneasy. You hear a raised voice somewhere in the background, and suddenly your body takes over to focus all your attention on other people's moods, the sounds around you, what's going on. You change your focus from what you were actually meant to be doing to being on guard. And this doesn't allow you to be fully present with other tasks like work or socializing or whatever else it is you were wanting to do. This affects your life. Your body reacts with whatever tactical behavior you used to use to keep yourself safe. It's just automatic. You may get the urge to run, to just get out of there, or to fight or lash out, get angry. Maybe you people please and it goes into overdrive, or to freeze and leave your body as you disassociate. So you're there physically, but your mind has gone off with the fairies. And then your mind tries to play catch up with what's going on? Why am I reacting this way? When there's nothing obvious that you can see around you that's not safe. And nobody else can see anything that's not safe either. So your reaction seems to be out of control. You don't know what's wrong, and your anxiety increases. Of course it does. You find it more and more difficult to focus and do what you was wanting to do. Over time, you begin avoiding certain situations that make you feel this way or that trigger your body to react. This can be really gradual, so you may not even notice the changes in your own behavior. You may start avoiding, say, for example, crowds or certain people, anywhere that people get drunk. You may avoid putting yourself out there in case you have this panic attack reaction in front of other people. You may avoid going to work, and on and on and on. Over time, with all this going on, it can feel safer to just stay inside and avoid people, which leads to loneliness and a feeling of helplessness. It's like a catch-22, particularly when you don't know what's causing all of this. And your self-esteem suffers. People have different triggers and reactions, so the symptoms are often missed and misunderstood. Avoiding your triggers, though, and life is not the answer. The more you try to control this, the worse it gets, as you are fighting your inbuilt alarm and protection setup, which is telling you to block all else out and focus on what you need to do to protect yourself. There is hope, though. Some people have lots of triggers and they go on guard several times a day and during the night when they're trying to sleep. Even a memory can trigger or a feeling. This involves all the fight and flight and adrenaline and hormones being activated, and it's exhausting. It can if you have a lot of triggers on one day, the next day you just feel like lying around in bed doing nothing because your body and every part of you is just exhausted from trying to survive. It's the equivalent of being or having your life threatened several times a day, and this becomes your norm. What's even worse, and what was really bad for me, is that you don't believe that you can be helped because you think it's just you. These patterns cause us to crave the feeling of safety and love, to just shut down and to isolate from others, to feel really tired a lot of the time with brain fog, and to startle easily, to not sleep well, And often we turn to substances and habits for relief as we just want some time out. And we feel very misunderstood. We don't trust ourselves to do things, and we don't trust others as well. You can't just talk or think your way out of an automatic survival reaction or habit. It's located in the primitive cerebellum part of your brain here in the back. And it means that you're spending most of your time living in what we call survival mode. The good news is that even if you've been given a really poor prognosis, which is what I was given, you can actually change this. You can heal and you can move forward. You do that by building different patterns that build trust in yourself and others, and that reprogram this part of the brain to know that you're safe now in this present moment, because it's how this affects you now that you need to deal with. To do this, you need to work with this part of yourself that still believes it's stuck in this awful, dangerous situation. And this takes, I won't lie, it takes a bit of effort and a lot of time. And it requires help from others you can trust, both professional and the people around you. It requires support and love and compassion for yourself and from others, not judgment. There are things you can do to help yourself. It all starts with educating yourself with videos like this one and others that you'll find on YouTube, and by actually reaching out through your doctor, getting a mental health plan, and going to see someone that can steer you in the right direction. What happened is not your fault. No one can just get over it, even if you are no longer in this unsafe situation. However, you are responsible for your healing, and you are the only one that can do this. You do it for yourself. You are the one who's coming to save you, not some knight in shining armor. You can heal from this and change your beliefs and reactions and how they affect your life now. You are worth it. You are worth the effort. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to hear more from me and you're not already subscribed, just click that subscribe button, like the video and the notification so that it can come up in your feed when you're on YouTube when I put out a new video. Thank you.